Rockets, by the way, wearing pink uniforms here tonight. It is pink in the rink night here at Prospero Place. What that means is these jerseys the Rockets are wearing will be auctioned off, and all the proceeds going to the Canadian Cancer Society. Gassed with it now. He'll feed to Hiroki. He'll take it out of center. He'll backhand it deep inside the Everett zone. He did not gain the center. Proceeds from the Chaka puck, also going towards the Canadian Cancer Society. Face out to the right of Benini. Here's a shot from the right point by Dupont, blocked. One on left wing by Paulentine. He'll move it off the glass and he'll get it to center. Hiroki trying to shuttle it back inside tip territory. Knocked away by Dupont. Lead feed left side center. Jameson will join the attack. Wrist shot. And Benini glove hand center for the Tips. Already 7 goals on the campaign. Got to be careful of sweater number 17 when he's out there. Dynamic player. He's a draft pick of the Seattle Kraken. Puck one here for the Rockets. Henderson. Center. Wetch. Lost it. Now here's Varga. He'll drag it back inside the tip zone. Gathered by Miedna to pass out right wing. And now here they come. Numbers the other way. This is the Tips' #1 line out here. Also on this line here for Everett, you got to be wary of him anytime he's out on the ice. That's Shea Bush. Here, higher mathematics, not necessary. Off the draw to the left of Benini, picked up by Kelowna. Here's Dawson Gerwing. He'll take it out of center. 19 years of age, trying to move that puck inside.
In lieu of the injured Daniel Hauser for Calgary, so he was a big part of their success. 4.5 gone by in the first. Tips win the draw. Terrence Smith skies it to the far corner. Vaughn will retrieve. Vaughn taps it back to the blue line. Dupont, long shot, sticked away by Benini. Into the near side circles. Rowan Guest under some pressure. Kaplan throws a hit. And up the right side, out come the Rockets, taken away by Smith. Picked back up by Chasko. Vaughn right wing. His shot from a sharp angle off the stick of Masden Leslie. Kelowna's power play, meanwhile, just 5 for 33 to start the year. Up the left side on the backhand is Wetch, forced into the far side. Dropping it back for Will Sharp. Worked towards the blue line. Masden Leslie, a terrific power play specialist. Across the slot at the near circle. Back to the high slot, and a chance is turned away by Miller and cleared out by the Tips. Leslie uncorking a slapper from the center of the blue line. Face-off in the defensive zone won by the Silvertips. Terrence Smith drifting to the corner. Backhands it over for Landon Dupont. Silvertips have Shantz, Heslop, Smith, and Dupont on. Smith up a seam, finds Dupont entering in with space. Breezing in, and a shot kick saved by Benini. A shot from distance there by Dupont. It's a lower percentage shot, but good velo on it as Wetch enters in off sides. And what was an historic year for the 15-year-old Dupont. Face-off in the neutral zone won by the Rockets. Henderson looking to his left off the skates of Papanicus and settled by Sharp. Henderson up the right side, chased by Miedna, crossing the width of the ice for Papanicus up with speed. Papanicus backhands it towards the net, settled down by rising shot, misses wide. Trickling puck out to center as Chasko is pushed out by Goysick. Over towards the near wall. In comes Chasko to his left. Dupont across the slot. He missed wide. Rebound in the trapezoid as Benini was taken out. It's out in front. Vaughn scores, but it's Gandon with no penalties assessed and a face-off out to the neutral zone. And onward we roll. Up the right side. Here's Pankratz in for Kelowna. Lost his footing, and now we're going to get a scrap at center. Face-off one back towards the blue line for Leslie. Leslie with a shot that's deflected and wide. Miller got a piece of it with the leg pads, and Zach Shantz chips it ahead for Carter Bear with numbers. Bear up the right side, slows, trying to drop it to Dupont, lost his footing. Turnaround shot by Shantz, misses wide. Dupont out to the high slot. Smith a drive that's blocked. And a shot from the blue line by Dupont. Penalty kill. Masden Leslie, who has seen every moment of power play time for the Rockets so far this evening. Calder Varga is met immediately by Bear, who's been aggressive on the forecheck. Bear with a strip. Up the left side, hesitating, dropping it towards Chasko. Out of his reach, picked up by Leslie, and ahead come the Rockets with numbers. Goysick dangling his way in towards the slot, finally forced off the puck, and cleared away by Terrence Smith. Goysick tried to do it himself, and very nearly got away with it. Jacob Henderson with final 15 seconds of power play time for Kelowna. Calder Varga with speed, dumps it in deep. Miller behind his net to play the puck. The Rockets in offside, so they'll have to retreat. Henderson goes rink wide. Drifts back into his own zone, sends it off the skates of Varga. Out of the box, Van Hanem. Silvertips 2 for 2 on the kill as Henderson works his way in. Gliding back to the far point, a low shot knocked down by Dupont with the leg, sent towards the blue paint off the skates of Smith into the near side corner and skied out to center. Through the legs of Henderson, Vaughn is themselves. Here's Smith carrying up ahead. Dishes to his left for Bear. A drop finds Chance. Across the slot, Dupont towards the net. Glove save made by Bonini. Jackson Carrig will take the face-off on the kill. Draw one by the Silvertips. Terrence Smith. Far point settling to his left. Heslop with Bear net front. To the blue line. Smith to his right. Dupont. Dupont looking backdoor for Heslop. Hopped over his stick and cleared out to center all the way down the length of the ice. Anders Miller will stymie for Terrence Smith with 20 seconds left in the penalty. Smith fakes a drop, now sends it towards Dupont. Ahead comes Heslop, dangles around a defender. Towards the far corner, Dupont holds. Around the kick plate for Terrence Smith at the near point. From a great distance to his left, Heslop with Chance at the doorstep. Smith at the blue line, sends it down low. Here's a turnaround shot by Chance, rejected to the blue line. Dupont out of the box is Papanicus, feigning a slapper of Smith over to his right, out of reach of Dupont. And the Rockets will settle things down. Towards the near wall, Heslop hustling over, the first to get there. Tips deposit with 22 seconds left. Up the wing, off a stick, deflected into the zone. Miller comes aggressively out of his crease to set it aside for Smith. Dupont for Caffey. Final 10 seconds of the period. One last rush possible. Caffey fanned on the cross zone pass. Holding at center. And Caffey is dumped down to the ice by a heavy hit. And that will bring us to the end of the period. Puck is dropped and away we go for the middle frame here in Kelowna. Fielded by the Rockets and shot in deep by Rowan Guest. Rolling along the boards to the far side. Pushed ahead by Carson Wetch. Dropped behind for Terrence Smith. Wetch, a former teammate of Anders Miller last year in Calgary. Out to center, Jesse Heslop entering up left side. Hits the brakes, finds Chance streaking in, and a shot that missed wide. Bonini might have gotten a piece of it. Dupont and Smith on the back end. Draw one by Papanicus. Pushed towards the blue line, but whacked ahead by Jesse Heslop. Good play to negate the exit there by Wetch. Good hit thrown by Carter Bear, far corner. Rowan Guest sliding up the right side, able to escape for Kelowna. Crosses center and wires it deep. Rolling along the boards, Dupont comes together with Vargas. Chance takes. Heslop springing up the left side for Carter Bear. Pass out of his reach and settled down by Gabriel Guilbeault. Up into the air over the stick of Wetch. Paddled back towards the neutral zone. Sent towards Miller, who steers it aside for Landon Dupont. Up the right wing, Heslop redirects in deep. Silvertips will go for a change. Draw one clean by Chance. Bear banks it off the boards. Held in near point by Smith. Charges ahead. Doorstep. Bear. Wraparound try. Save. Tapped towards the blue line and out of reach of Smith. And the Silvertips will regroup. Good opportunity by Bear trying to utilize his reach. Almost got it around the right leg of Bonini. Dupont softly for Chance. And it's rocketed down the length of the ice there by Carrig. Anders Miller will drift behind his net and set it aside for Terrence Smith. Up ice for Carter Bear. Looking to spring over Landon Dupont. Dupont has Carrig right in front of him. Resets and recharges from behind his own net. Heslop. Through the neutral zone. Hands to Chance. Drops it to Dupont. Mishandled the puck. Keeps it onside. To his left, Smith. Stepping forward. A back pass towards Heslop is fielded instead by Dupont. Now Smith, stationary at the blue line, drifting over, a shot, save, a rebound, loose far post and shoved wide by Bear. Dupont holding on the perimeter. Smith a one-timer deflected near corner. Jesse Heslop over. And Bear with a hot pass back to the blue line, well out of reach of Smithy. Trial law, Tomas Poltine on the dot for the Rockets. Countered by Miettinen, draw one by the Tips, unable to clear. Leslie holds the zone, skips it to the far circle. Held down back to the blue line for Masden Leslie as Sharp to his left. And a pass attempt is stick down by Van Hanen. Springs Miettinen forward in a foot race for the puck against Sharp. Rolling towards the crease and Bonini unable to steer it away from an oncoming Miettinen. Miettinen will kill some time against the boards. Good forecheck there by Miettinen. Picks the pocket of Poltine behind the end line. Boy, Miettinen a bull in a china shop on this shift. Puck springs free to the near side corner. Van Hanen providing support. And the first 45 seconds of the power play killed off almost single-handedly by Miettinen. Up comes Poltine to his left for Sharp, through his legs. Masden Leslie at the point. Cutting over to his right with speed along wrister, fought off by Miller, and a rebound is pushed just wide. To the blue line, Leslie, who gloved it down and kept it in. Leslie far point, long wrister, deflected in front by Dupont. Sharp picks up and scores. Will Sharp, the lead. And I think that the Rockets have done a good job of that. Draw one towards Dupont. Back to the blue line, Smith. Finding Dupont, far circle. Back to Smith on the right side. Center of the zone to his right, Heslop. Curling over towards his left. Down the slot, a wrister that's blocked. And up into the netting out. There's no space for them to facilitate right now. Face off one, and Leslie will carry it away. Leslie charges fourth shorthanded. Entering in, tries it towards the end boards. It's sent wide, picked up by Carter Bear. Ahead comes Smith. Up ahead on the rush, hands to Dupont. Rolls it around the boards to Zachary Shantz. 40 seconds remaining in the power play. Pankratz comes together with Terrence Smith. Shantz wins it away along the wall. Back to Bear at the blue line. Bear, pitch and catch with Heslop. Center of the zone, Bear to his right. Heslop stepping forward near dot. Drifting back towards the blue line. He'll swap places with Dupont. He gives to him. Quick wrister off the end wall. Picked up by Heslop. Carried to the near circle. Back out to Smith. Inching forward. Smith seizing some space. A shot blocked by Carrig. Benini tumbled a bit in the crease. He's back to his skates. Smith center of the blue line. 15 seconds to the man advantage. Heslop one-timer save. Rebound stopped. Picked up by Leslie and cleared away by Kelowna. 21 goals last year on the blue line for Vancouver. Over to his left for Tomasz Poltyn. Across the slot for Sharp. Broken up. Clearance by Vaughn. Held in by Leslie near half wall. Asden Leslie over to his left. Finding Varga across the slot. Fanning on the one-timer Sharp. Bouncing puck settled by Wetch. 45 seconds left in the power play. Varga over to Leslie. Guides it to his left at the near circle. Down low towards Wetch. Towards the slot. Poltyn sends it wide. Sharp behind the end line. It's Wetch over for Varga as Poltyn shaken up. Varga high slot to Leslie calling. Sets up the one-timer. Couldn't get all of it on the far side circle with Sharp. Poltyn remains in the play after gingerly getting back up to his skates. Varga across the slot. Down low, toe save. Rebound kept out by Miller. Diving across the crease, kept in. Leslie, high slot, long chance, stick save. Towards the near half wall, 5 seconds left. Across the slot, a change. Kaplan up the right side, avoiding Pankratz. Taken away by the Rockets. Up comes Gilboa. Quickly over towards the near side circle. Good feed for Carrig. Sends it off the side of the net. Carrig had just a hair of difficulty fielding that puck. Otherwise, he had a nice look towards Miller. Leslie far side. A drive off the side of the net. Picked up by Smith. Lofted out towards center. Papanikis kicks it towards his own end. Will Sharp will hold. Up the left side, Papanikis one-on-one against Dupont. Towards the slot, a save and a rebound is swept to the near side, out of reach of Pakash. At center, Papanikis entering back in, offside. Icing on the play, Benini comes behind his net to play the puck. Redirected by Tomasz Poltyn. Landon Dupont finding Jackson Vaughn. Vaughn lugging the puck through the neutral zone towards the far corner. He's wrapped up by Gilboa. Over to Dupont near wall. Hard around the kick plate. Terrence Smith racing over, unable to hold the zone. Terrence Smith waiting, slaloming into his own end towards Vaughn on the left side. He's knocked down to the ice. Puck bouncing between the legs of Kaplan, picked up and slung into the offensive end by Goysick. Round behind the net it goes. Dupont up the right side. Jackson Vaughn chips it deep. Pursued by both Henderson and Bear. Henderson gets there first, guides it towards Corbet. Up the left side, Dupont skies it up into the air, past the legs of Shantz. Dupont gets it back, over towards his left, streaking in Bear. Finding a lane, finds Shantz, back door, they score! Backhanded home by Jesse Heslop. And the Silvertips break deep into the playoffs. Puck is dropped and away we go for the final frame as Van Hanen guides it back towards Landon Dupont. Clark Schaefer and Nate Corbet are still in the box after serving offsetting on sportsmanlike penalties. Here's a pass down low for Reese Jamieson off his stick. Jamieson skating on a line with Mietten and then Van Hanen, replacing Nolan Caffey to start the period. Steve Hamilton pressing some buttons and seeing what works as Van Hanen Looking back towards the blue line, Terrence Smith trying to chip it deep. Battling along the near side while Papanicus has it stolen. Miettinen along the goal line for Jamieson. Score! Reese Jamieson, his first Western. Face-off won by the Rockets at center, picked up by Guilbeault. Softly into the Silvertip zone. Terrence Smith sails it up into the stands, and this has been superb on the PK tonight. He has been taking the extra juice, pushing play towards the end wall. Boy, has he been good. Into the zone. Near side corner. Picked up by Shantz, moved over towards behind the net for Heslop. He'll rocket it down the length of the ice. 4 minutes, 20 seconds gone by in the third period. Final 30 seconds of the power play. Papanicus walloped behind the end line, thrown towards the blue line, unable to hold the zone as Henderson. Final seconds ticking away as Smith is up on the board. Trying to gesture to his bench. Left side Varga entering in, throwing it across the slot. Finds a man on the right side, Papanicus. He sails it wide. Hiroki Goisick out of the box is Terrence Smith. Silvertips kill it off. Centering feed broken up by Dupont. He's leveled, but he's still able to get it towards the blue line. Bear without a stick. He's unable to clear. It's chipped in deep again by Kelowna. Near side corner battle for the puck. Smith throws a hit. Picked up by Dupont. He'll shuffle it to center as Bear, with a fresh stick, heads back towards the bench. Still on the shelf, and finally it lands on the ice in the neutral zone. That stayed up for a long time. Terrence Smith sails it wide. Matthias Van Hanen drops it for Miettinen. Trying to cross over to the near point, and Terrence Smith unable to collect. Barrett batted it out to center, and Barrett will deposit in deep and go off for a change. Good read there by Eli Barrett on that sequence. Smith hard off the glass out to center for Miettinen. It lands in his midsection. Pushing possession into the near corner, joined by Van Hanen. 6:40 gone by in the third period. Tips leading by 1. Here's Reese Jamieson. In the far corner, back to the blue line. Dupont to his left. Smith stepping forward. A wrister. Glove save by Bonini. And he'll hang on. At this point, the Silvertips have scored 3 times on their last 8 shots. They've been able to pick their spots on Bonini in this last, I would say, 10 minutes of gameplay. Tripped up was Terrence Smith on his way back into his own zone. Took out Zach Shantz in the process. Tips able to get the puck back nonetheless as Carter Bear, Bill Sharp. And the Silvertips beckon back to the bench for a change. Into the Everett end, Papanicus. Closed out from the puck by Dupont. Poked towards the far wing by Miettinen. Overskates the puck. He'll stop. Rink wide, finds Van Hanen. He's in with Jamieson. Van Hanen dropping back to the blue line. Miettinen into the near corner. Back to Miettinen. Shot through traffic. Kicked away by Bonini with Reese Jamieson planting himself net front. Jamieson looking in front for Van Hanen. Pass broken up by Guest. Van Hanen far corner in front for Jamieson. Kick save made by Bonini. And skated away. Here's Daniel Pakash trying to geometrically lead in Leslie. Kept away from him by Dupont. Reese Jamieson up with speed on the left side. Jamieson has been in the right place at the right times here. Van Hanen for Liskey. Blocked down by Papanicus. Looking for Leslie through his legs and down the ice. This will be icing again. Papanicus also awaiting puck drop. Tied up and won by the Tips. Pushed forward by Bear. Nudged towards the crease, and Bonini will have it covered. Honest and very direct. Faceoff is won by Kelowna. Curled into the far corner, Rowan Guest. Over towards the near side, Masden Leslie. Closed out by Zach Shantz. Battle for the puck far corner. Shantz aggressively racing over. Guest for Leslie, and away come the Rockets. Up into the air, glove down by Dupont. Boy, the Rockets have had a devil of a time breaking out of their own end. Here's a bank pass for Heslop and a beauty. Cutting around Leslie, and a shot kick save made by Bonini. Josh Bonini with a tricky shot as Heslop was cutting to his left, shooting to his right. Off the glass and down towards the Silvertips corner. Dupont. Back for Liskey, out of reach. Look out, shrieking chance. That's blocked by a streaking Clark Schaefer. Between the hash marks, backhander saved by Miller, and he's got a bulletin. Polteen's stick failed him. And a trickling puck is covered up by Miller. Miller is piled on. Draw one clean by Miettinen, who is now 50% on the night. He's 7 for 14. Cleared all the way down. Bonini leaves it aside for Masden Leslie. Miettinen chases him towards the end boards. Left for Tomas Polteen. And up he comes. Polteen lost control in the neutral zone. Polteen with points in all 6 of his appearances so far this year. Goals in 5 of them. Up the left side. They look towards the slot. It's covered up by Miller. Readying for the dropping of the puck. It's kicked back by Shantz, scooped up by Dupont, and Dupont sends it down the length of the ice. Bonini leaves it for Masden Leslie. Out from his own zone, leading Sharp up the left wing. He's poked back by Miettinen. Left on the red line. Leslie, again, regrouping. Marked by Chasko. Spins away from pressure. Figure eights in his own end. Tips go for a partial change. Carson Wetch right side, entering up the wing. A shot that's deflected off the glass. It lands far corner for Will Sharp. Hot for Polteen behind the net. And Dupont able to clear. 20 seconds remaining in the penalty. Silvertips go for a full 4. But it's 5-on-4, and what an opportunity here for Kelowna. 7th power play of the game. They win the draw. Leslie whacks it deep. Heslop the first to get there. Bonini to the bench. It's 6-on-4. Dupont to Terrence Smith. Skies it up into the air, off a glove, reaching for a chance. He gets it to center, but no further. Masden Leslie. Wetch 2 for slashing, Liskey for spearing. He gets 2 minutes and an extra 2 as that skied way up. Face-off is won by Everett. Terrence Smith in the corner, skies it down the ice, and it's just wide, but the Tips can shoot at the empty net with impunity since they are down a man. Masden Leslie slowly through the neutral zone. Over to his left, onto the stick of Papanicus. Dangles to his backhand. He's forced down from behind by Miettinen. Glove down by Leslie, has it in his skates. Shoveled up into the air, glove down by Papanicus. Quick shot off the outside of the post. Outside, Will Sharp. With a minute remaining in regulation time, Leslie through traffic, deflected in front, picked up by Dupont, off the glass, and out to the neutral zone. Leslie rink wide for Sharp in front of his bench. Miettinen coming on hard. Errant feed over for Leslie. Miettinen racing into the corner. Quickly up the left side, Papanicus ahead with numbers. Trading paint with Smith. Forced off the puck, and Shantz sends it off a body. Miettinen in the neutral zone. Flops it back into the Kelowna end with 40 seconds left. 30 seconds left in the penalty being served by Liskey. Up the left side. In comes Will Sharp. Shot in around the boards. Miller behind his net. Sets it aside for Smith. Whacked off the boards. Leslie can't hold. It's out to center. He's chased by Shantz. At center, turned over to Heslop. Trying to one-hand it deep. It's taken right back by the Rockets. 20 seconds left. Into the near side corner. Dupont. Whacks it around the wall. Papanicus. Lost control. Heslop trying to spin it out. Held in by Polteen. Poked back to the point. Now Leslie, high slot with a chance. Blocked by Dupont. Gets it back towards the net. Kept away by Miller. 5 seconds left. Leslie on the outside. Bearing down on him, Caffey. Smith blocks the shot. The Silvertips have won it.